welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to transform this shirt I'm putting on right here to this simple, should I call this simple peplum top? I don't know what I was making, to be honest, and it turned out to be this. So if that's something you're interested in, let's just get right into the video. Please, before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. So I'm going to start by indicating where I'm going to cut my sleeve from. After that, I placed my shirt on the table, on the flat surface, and I cut off the breast pockets because I won't be needing it. And the next thing I did was to cut off the collar of the shirt because I still won't be needing it for this project. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to cut off my sleeve, and the material, the excess material we cut off, we are going to keep it because we are going to reattach it back to the sleeve later on. Then I'm getting rid of the buttons because we're not going to be needing it for this project. And after that, I cut off the part that had the button case because I'm going to use it to make a bow later on for this project. After cutting the part that needs to be cut, I'm going to set the shirt aside and move on to the next thing. Using the sleeve that I cut out earlier, I'm going to cut it into a rectangle that is 22 inches long and 6 inches wide, and it's going to serve as a flare part of the sleeve on the top. So that's what I'm doing. I folded it into two, and I'm cutting it. Then I'll still, split it in the middle. Just basically watch what I'm doing. After cutting it open, just because each one is not long enough, I'm just going to join the both of them together and sew them together, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other sleeve. This is what it looks like after sewing it together. So I'm going to place it on the sleeve just like that, with the right side facing each other. Then I'm going to start pinning it together because that's where I'm going to sew it. But instead of pinning it straight, I'm making little folds while I pin. Yeah. After pinning it down, I'll just take it to the sewing machine and sew it. And this is what it's looking like right now after sewing it. So right now I'm indicating where I want the neck plunge to get to. Then I'm just going to draw like a straight V from the neckline to that point that I indicated. And the next thing is to just cut it. After that, I folded the neckline to hem it to make it look neater. The next thing is to cut out the casing for your elastic. I'm using another material for this because I found out that my material from my shirt was not going to be enough, and my scissors was being an enemy of progress here. So I had to show it pepper by using it to cut aluminium to make it sharper, and look at it started behaving. I put the shirt back on in order for me to indicate where I want to place my elastic. Then I'm just drawing a straight line on that part I indicated, and this is the wrong side of the top and not the right side. After that, I place the material that I cut out on the wrong side of the shirt, and I'm going to pin both ends down to the shirt, and this is going to serve as the case for the elastic. After pinning it down, I'm just going to sew both ends to the shirt. This is how the right side looks after sewing, and this is how the wrong side looks after sewing. For the measurement of the elastic, all I did was just to tie it around my waist until I'm satisfied with the tightness or the fit, and I'm just going to cut the excess elastic out. That's just all. The next thing I did is to pass the elastic through the casing that I made for it, and yeah, I'm using I'm using a bobby pin for this. I'm just going to pin the other end to the shirt and just pass it through. After passing it through the casing, I'm going to sew both ends of the elastic together. I'm going to do this before finally closing up and sewing up the back of my top. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm talking like a drunk person. Now I'm just pinning the back together in order to finally close it up and sew it. Using the excess material, I'm just going to make a bow to attach to the top. This is cutting out any material I can get. After cutting it up, I'm just going to join the ends together, pin it down and take it to the sewing machine and close it up. After that, I'm just going to use the other excess material that I cut out, and I'm just going to tie a knot covering that part that I stitched together. And that's just basically it. I really don't know how to make a bow. I just thought of it, of this thing just right here, and this is how it's looking. And because I couldn't sew it down with my sewing machine or needle, my needle kept on breaking, I'm using my fabric glue to sew it down, and that's it.